big hello to you. It's so great to see you. I hope I find you well. We're not up in the loft today. You may have noticed from behind me, we've actually come out on a road trip to Settle to DCCconcepts, and we're going to be taking a look at some of the great range that they've got here. And I'm told there's even some new products which we're going to take a good close look at. So I don't know what we're doing, standing out here on a lovely, lovely day in the cold. Let's get inside to where all the good stuff is. So come on in, let's go and have a look. Oh, coming in out of the cold. It's always good to come and have a look at the showroom up here in Settle. And they've got some new products that have just recently come out. And I'm really excited to take a quick look at some of these. Today's video comes in association with Trainomatic, makers of DCC decoders and accessories that are designed by enthusiasts for enthusiasts. Find the full range available to order now at tramfabrique.co.uk. Additional support comes from Rails of Sheffield. Sell to the name you know and trust. Buy, sell or exchange any age or any gauge. Call them now for the very best price. Check them out today at the link below. So there's all of these new products here, and they really do look quite interesting. Now, if only there was somebody here to tell us a little bit more about them. Oh my word! Hello, it's Richard Brighton.
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Always a pleasure. Now, I was just wondering actually about these products that we've got here, and then you miraculously appear. So can you tell us a little bit more about what we've got on display here? These are all new to the range.
Yes, this is a completely new range from DCCconcepts by Legacy Models. So Legacy Models are the side of our business that does a lot of the non-digital, non-electrical type of stuff. You'll find the Legacy ballast and the Legacy track and the Legacy rail joiners, that sort of thing.
Absolutely.
This is a new range of Legacy lighting. We're calling it Legacy Skyline Street and Wall Lamps. We've got a range here going from the original sort of Midland style, Southern and Great Western style wall lamps through to the swan necks, through to the modern image lights. And the modern image are really quite special, but we'll get to those, won't we?
So all of these would be suitable for people no matter what region they model. You've got
That's right, we've got various colours. So we've got the maroon. We've got the green, which was done on the Southern and then later adopted by BR across most of their estate. We've got the GWR brown, which is that sort of light chocolatey brown colour. And then we've also got just a standard plastic black, which you can then just paint any colour you want.
If you want
a different one.
So that's really good. If, say, for example, you're wanting to model, say, a pre-grouping railway company, you can paint that up quite
do any colour you want. So these are the gas lamps, if you like. These are the electric swan neck lights and then the modern LED lights. They're all powered by LED in the model form. So they use very little power, which is great for model railways. And they all will work with Alpha Mimic as well. So if you've got a Mimic board,
you could just solder the plugs in and you just plug them into the Mimic board.
That's right.
So just like the ground signals.
Exactly right.
Brilliant.
So they're ready to go, really. The other thing is all of the lamp post lamps, whether they be the gas, the swan neck or the modern image, are all height adjustable as well.
Oh right, so you could have them, say, on a platform or just out in the street, and you've got that factored in.
And in fact, the modern image light, where you see these LED lights in real life now, they're quite short on platforms. They're sort of middle on side roads and side streets. They're very short on pathways, and they're quite high on main roads. So that's infinitely adjustable. We'll come to that in a little while. We'll get that out and you can have a look at that.
Yeah, brilliant. So, I mean, it's a lovely range, and these are building on, you used to have some grain of wheat bulb versions quite a while ago. They've gone from the range.
That's right.
But these being all LED, there's a lot lower power consumption, which of course is great. If you've got a lot of lighting, grain of wheat bulbs can very, very quickly become quite taxing. So this, you've even got little resistor boards that you just plug them to, say, the DCC bus.
So they've come with the resistor boards in there, and then you can choose what brightness you want the lights yourself.
That's great. Oh, I do like those. I really do. And there's some interesting details as well. I can see on these modern image ones, you've even got some little speakers, security cameras. And that's very much a feature of the modern world.
It is, yes. These are unique in that, yes, and this is something that's common to the rest of the range as well. These are actual 4mm lamps. They're not 3.5mm HO lamps. These are 00 lamps. Okay, so that's something that you've got to remember.
Oh, right.
The actual lamp post is scale. The head on the top is a proper LED lamp.
Right.
It's not something we've made up. We actually got measurements from the manufacturers who made these and made it to scale. So it's even got the cooling fins on the top and things like that.
Oh, brilliant.
And then it's got a completely flat lens on the bottom. And again, you don't see that very often. Usually they've got a bowl lens on them, but modern street lamps and platform lamps don't have that anymore. They're completely flat. And the base is infinitely adjustable as well, as we discussed earlier. And then, yes, this is a speaker or security camera which can be placed on it, which we also sell as a separate pack, which I see you've got there.
I've spotted those as well. So if you want them on every lamp, they're available here, but you get two in the packet as well. So certainly really interesting range. And of course, for those modelers who want to go a little bit further back in time, we've got all of the gas and the electric lights. I really like these swan neck ones. In a pack there, you get quite a lot actually in a single pack.
You do. You're getting 6 of the post lamps and 2 of the wall lamps. You can buy a 3-pack of post lamps and you can buy a 2-pack of wall lamps as a separate item as well. So you can add whatever you need.
So you can mix
the value packs are a good starting place because you get the selection of different
things. And you
things,
can have a play about and see what works as well. Because actually some of these that just go on the side of especially like industrial buildings, or if you've got goods sheds, warehouses, these are actually a really great feature to bring to life.
They are. It's really good industrial lighting style, yes. The difference on these is whilst the base on the modern lamps can slide up and down the post, on these, of course, you've got detail on the post, so you can't do that. So what we've got is this base piece here. This will come off, so you have a lamp which is this high, or you can put it on, in which case you've got a lamp that's this high. So you've got 2 different heights. And of course, you can cut this base to whatever height you want, so you can have any height in between.
So that just slides on, does it?
That just slides on. Right. And then there's also a brass pipe as well in there, which you can put into the bottom of here, and then that gives you the
And that gives you
mounting.
what goes into the baseboard. If you want them full height, you've still got something there just to support them. And
you have, yes, that's right.
Oh, that's brilliant. And the wires themselves, they're just quite easy to solder either to the resistance boards, or if you want to put a mimic plug on and plug them into
they're just enamel coated wire. That's all that's on there. They have to be very fine, so they're almost invisible on installation. And then you would just connect that to whatever power bus you're going to use via the resistor board. They're easy to solder on, yes.
That's great. And we've got the earlier gas lamps as well, and these certainly, I mean, one of the things I think that people perhaps forget is that some of these lamps persisted until quite recently. I mean, I can remember in Hull, a lot of their street lights in some of the residential streets were still those swan neck lamps, even into the 1990s.
I can take these ones, for example, these maroon gas lamps, and I can show you these, and we can walk the other side of that door, and I can find them on the station outside.
Absolutely,
the only difference is the paint job, so these are maroon, but what you'd need to do is just paint the top bit in cream and then put a cream stripe around the base. And that is now how they are on the station right now today. Brilliant. I'm sure Zoe would be delighted to go out in the cold and take some pictures of them. Wouldn't you, Zoe?
We'll send her out whilst we scoff at your double-decker stash.
This is the modern lamp. You can see that the actual post itself is very fine, and this is the wire I was talking about here. This is enamel coated wire that you would connect to the resistor board. This is the base here, which you would find on any modern lamp. That usually controls all the electronics inside there to make the lamp work, and you can actually see we've got the door for that base moulded in there as well.
Oh, that is nice.
And now that can be moved to any height you like. That just slides up the pole like that, so you can have quite a short, so if you've got a sort of country station, there you go, you can have quite short lamps like that. If you're putting it on a mainline station, you might have them a little bit bigger. You can see that I'm moving this speaker as well. That just clips on, so you can just put that wherever you want. You might have that on, for example, shall we say a small side road, in which case you'd come down to there, or you might have it on a main road, in which case it'd be quite high. So you can adjust that to any height that you want. You can also see the detail in the top of the lamp fitting as well, and on the cap that fits onto the post you can see the bolts that hold that on. And then on the base of the lamp itself, you can see that that's a flat lens as well. And that's opaque plastic, so what happens when the LED comes on, it looks like a square of light as opposed to a dot.
Right.
So it diffuses the light, so you get quite a nice effect on that as well.
And the actual post itself, that's a brass tube. So
That's right, yeah.
So it's got a lot of strength.
Oh, it's got a lot of strength to it. I mean, that's not going to snap or...
So if you accidentally catch it on your layout, it's not going to end up with a snapped lamp.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. They need to have a bit of flex, because if they were completely rigid, they would just snap.
Yes.
So especially if you've got sort of someone cleaning the track and they brush their arm against it or something like that, it does need to have that bit of flex in there, yeah. But I think they're rather special.
And the resistor boards are exactly the same regardless of any of these in the range. That's the same means that you plug them into the power source. It's something that, say, if you ran them off the DCC bus, you don't need a separate power feed, and you can just choose the resistor value so that you can have them brighter or dimmer just by where you solder them in. And I think it's a nice, simple, self-contained method of doing this. One of the things I do love about coming here is just having a browse and getting ideas for future projects. And in fact, one of the things that I've got in mind is I really want to make a very, very portable model layout, one that you can carry, maybe take on trains or even on an aeroplane, or perhaps even climb a mountain and put on your own little impromptu model railway exhibition on the summit. And for that, I'm looking at some of this power-based products. Now, we have used them before. When I did the upside-down layout for Hornby A Model World, I actually used them as part of the means that allowed the upside-down train to run. And I'm going to build on that to make something that doesn't really matter if it's on an angle, or even if you turn it upside down, the train's still going to run. So I think I'll get that. I always love a little puggy poo. Oh, look at that. One of my favourite types of locomotives. And actually this shows off the power base quite well. I can lift this up and you can see that the locomotive is staying put quite well. But if I move it down to here, then it just slides off. Move it to where the magnet is and it stays put. And that's a lot of extra grip and extra electrical pickup as well, without adding dead weight to the locomotive, which is quite important. We've also got some actual paraphernalia from signal boxes, and it's a really great way to get up close and personal and just take a look at some of the real things that were in use on Britain's railways. We've got here another product which I've not seen here before, NCE Mini Panel, and DCCconcepts also do carry a lot of stuff for NCE systems, so it's a good port of call if there's something you particularly want. This is particularly useful if you're wanting to route set, and route setting is where you're getting several points to all change at once so that the train follows a particular route, which is particularly useful when a train is entering or leaving a fiddle yard. And by having one of these, it means you can plug in right where you need to set those routes. One of my favourite products are these levers, and certainly they just are a joy to operate. This too is another really interesting product that DCCconcepts do. It's point rodding, but it actually works. And as you can see here, we've got the Cobalt SS motors, and it's connected to the rodding, and then through a crank to the turnout. And that is just like the real point work on a mechanically worked signal box. And you could imagine having these motors hidden away underneath the signal box and actually use the point rodding as more than just a scenic detail. You're actually changing the points, and you can see there it's a really great way of not just getting the accurate scenic details, but the fact that they work to change the points, and you can watch those little cranks moving as they do so. And I find that fabulous, and certainly it's a product that I'd like to try one day on one of my builds. That really is brilliant. Decoders Always great to stock up whilst you're here. There's a full range of decoders here to fit all types of socket, and if you want some stay alives to go with them as well, they've got their plug-in range, which are really easy to use. We've done a review on those before. And with the current world processor shortage, it's nice to see a good full range, but get them whilst you can. Actually, whilst I'm here, I could do with the next 18. Actually, make that 2. It's also great to visit the model of the viaduct that's here. It's an amazing model, really set off with the back scene behind. And actually, whilst they've put this cover up just to stop any drips from condensation with the cold weather we've been having, it does give a great sense about how this is going to be within its model landscape when it's all done. When I used to work here, I used to always gaze longingly at this model. It's a Pennsylvania Railroad ABB set in this really quite eye-catching Pennsylvania Railroad livery. It really is something special. I actually used it in some of the DCCconcepts videos that I shot when I worked here. And one of these days, maybe I'll save up the pennies and buy it. But for now, it's here if there's any US outline modelers who maybe want to buy it for their own collection. I've had a great time here today, and a big thank you to Richard Brighton and all the DCCconcepts crew for letting us come and poke around and take a look at some of those new products. And you're going to be seeing a review and install video with those lamps coming up in the next few weeks or so. I'm really looking forward to trying them out on Weir Yard and maybe getting a black weathering wash over them, really to highlight some of that exquisite detail. But our time here has come to an end, so don't forget to tickle that like button, share this video and subscribe to the channel too to be the first to know about new videos as and when they go up. But until next time, this is me, Jenny Kirk, saying bye for now, and we're going to head back on the road through the icy weather of the Dales and get back to playing trains on Weir Yard, so I'll catch you later. Today's video is sponsored by Train-O-Matic, makers of DCC decoders designed to be fully compatible with every manufacturer's locomotive. Visit train-o-matic.com to browse the full range and see what they've got suitable for you. Additional support comes from Rails of Sheffield. Sell to the name you know and trust. Family-run business purchasing collections for over 50 years. From single items to lifetime collections, no collection is too small or too big. Buy, sell or exchange, any age or any gauge. Rails will take everything: locos, coaches, wagons, track work, controllers, accessories. In fact, they'll take absolutely everything and certainly will not cherry pick the best items. Rails are only a phone call away. Call them now for the very best price and get instant cash payment or same-day transfer. Check them out today at the link below. I'd like to send out a huge thanks to everybody who supports me on Patreon, and an extra special huge thanks goes out to Anthony Kidson, Offshore Allen, Michael Lockie, Helen Sink, Gary Lewis, David Quinn, Sparky107107, George Botterini, Chris Moss, Robert Steers, Sam Yates, Dale Williams, John N from NC, NYMRish, Jonathan Foster, Peter, Clifford Ison, Larry W. Grant, NI Railways 4000 class, Ian Coulson, Alan Dickerson, Eddie Popper, Karen Nichol, Medwin Williams, Crossways Point Junction, 3B Rail, Jennifer Horton, and James Beckett. Thank you. Without you guys, I couldn't do this.